Okay, let's do 9, 10, and 11 together because they all deal with this idea of confidence intervals, and they're all pretty straightforward, if I may say so. So number 9, what is the z alpha over 2? All right, the z alpha over 2, that is, or what value of z alpha over 2 is used in the 90% confidence interval of a normal distribution. Now we can go right to that t-distribution table for that. Right? If we're trying to find the z alpha value, alpha over 2 value used for our confidence interval, I can go right to that z distribution. That t distribution, sorry. 90% confidence interval, and I just go all the way to the bottom. And that's my z alpha over 2 value, 1.645 or 1.65. Right, that's what it's been rounded to in our text. So I'd say 1.65 if we're rounding. That's the z alpha over 2 value. The following mini-tab output presents a confidence interval for a population mean. Now notice this one does not give us the assumed sigma, so it doesn't give us the population standard deviation. This would be one that uses a t-distribution. That's why we're asked about degrees of freedom. And if you remember degrees of freedom, this is on the formula sheet as well. Degrees of freedom. It's a nice little formula, n minus 1. The sample size minus 1. So the degrees of freedom here are 78. 79 minus 1 is 78. Problem 11, a sample of size n equals 20, n equals 20, is drawn from a normal population. Find the critical value t alpha over 2. That's what we're looking for. So in 9, we found the z alpha over 2 value, right? Here we're looking for the t alpha over 2 value for a 99% confidence interval. So let's see how that kind of formulates here. So the t distribution, right? So we have to note that we're looking for a 99% confidence interval here, right? And we're not going all the way to the bottom. We only do that for z distributions. But now, so 99% confidence interval, t distribution, look. The other component of this table is the df, degrees of freedom. So if we determine our degrees of freedom, we can tell what the t alpha over 2 value would be for that 99% confidence interval. So the degrees of freedom here, just like the previous problem, would be n minus 1. N minus 1, which is 19. So 19 degrees of freedom, 99% confidence interval. So we said 19 degrees of freedom. I'll just highlight that entire row. 19 degrees of freedom, 99% confidence interval, 2.861 or 2.86, either or. 2.861. That's our t alpha over 2 value. And that's our answer. You look at the solution and see if they want 1.645 or 1.65 for this one. I'm not sure.